Hello there everyone, this is lavoncason back at it again with another YouTube video. And it seems like the PlayStation 6 and the next generation Xbox could be delayed due to RAM price increases, which is because of AI. So this article comes from insidergaming.com. RAM price increases could see next generation console releases delayed. That's the title of the article. And from what we have heard, the industry as a whole is concerned about RAM availability as they should be and what that is going to mean for mass producing consoles at a competitive price point. Not only for the next generation, but it could also mean that yet more price increases for current generation consoles will hit us in 2026. RAM modules have increased in price by several 100% in the past few months due to demand for AI, and with the pursuit of AI seemingly not going away anytime soon, RAM availability could continue to be a bottleneck, or at the very least, RAM shortage will mean that prices will continue to hike. It leaves console producers in a very tricky spot moving forward. While consoles have traditionally been subsidized to a certain extent in the past, it seems like RAM availability and price increases will mean that the next generation of consoles, which were already believed to be much higher in price than previous generation, could be extortionate. For what we understand, the situation has led console manufacturers to debate whether the next generation of consoles should be delayed from their intended 2027 to 2028 release window, with the hope that RAM manufacturers will be able to build out their infrastructure to produce more RAM by allowing prices to drop. So this is very interesting. This is a very interesting situation here, because there's been a lot of people out there that's been saying that we really don't need the next generation in 2027 or 2028. I've heard people say that next generation should start in 2030, and that is because a lot of people in the gaming community has felt like that the PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles have not been utilized because of COVID, because of the fact that cross-gen has been for a very long, period at this point for this generation. It's been like 3 to 4 years, pretty much. I mean, yeah, there's still PS4 releases, that came out this year in 2025, but I think, now maybe in 2026 that may slow down, but a lot of people just feel like the PlayStation 5, like I said, the Xbox Series X, Series S, PS5 Pro even, have not been utilized to their fullest potential. So there's this interesting comment here that I would like to show you guys from Twitter, from this guy named Black Ice Sheep, who made a, tweet for this right here, that Tom Henderson made, this tweet that Tom Henderson made, which is the link of this article. This person basically said, I'm expecting the PS4 and Xbox One, but mostly the PS4 to see yet another resurgence of adoption, leading to another wave of major current gen releases getting last gen ports and new titles releasing with last gen in mind. And I made a reply to that comment, that tweet, which would help the Switch 2 if that happens. Now, at this point in 2025, I think developers are pretty much done with the mechanical hard drive. They're pretty much done at this point dealing with the Jaguar CPU. Yeah, there could be a couple more releases of PS4 games, particularly smaller PS4 games, next year. But as far as, big AAA games, I doubt it at this point. I think developers are pretty much going to be focusing on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles and Switch 2 as well. That's what I think developers are going to be focusing on at this point. So I doubt, big games will be coming to PS4 and Xbox One at this point. But then again, Jedi Survivor did come out on the PS4 and Xbox One, despite of this, being only can be done on, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles. Somehow, some way, they found a way to put it on PS4 and Xbox One. So, when it comes to this tweet here, I doubt it'll happen, but again, we are going to have to wait and see. And if it does happen, that would help the Switch 2. It would. And which is another thing. How does this affect the Switch 2 and its third-party situation? Since, this generation could be a bit longer than usual, that means, since developers are already porting their games to the Xbox Series S, they could possibly port their games onto the Switch 2 as well, since next generation is not going to be anytime soon. It could be, late 2028, it could be late 2029, or even 2030, like some people would prefer. And if that's the case, that would give, the Switch 2 pretty much more third-party game opportunities, since the focus is still going to be PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles, and the lowest common denominator when it comes to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series consoles is the Xbox Series S. So, and since it's coming on the Series S, some developers are probably going to be like, you might as well put this game on Switch 2. You might as well. But yeah, honestly, I can see this generation lasting longer. I can also see, the Switch 2 third-party support, being a benefit because of the fact that next generation could be delayed pretty much because of the RAM pricing situation due to AI. But what do you guys think of all this? Let me know in the comment section below this YouTube video. This is lavoncason sign out in peace, and I hope you guys have a good day, and bye.